This didn't have to happen, you know.
Back up.
Knowledge comes with a cost.
According to me, there are two specific groups of people who watch From: the ones who find this show frustratingly brilliant, and the ones who consider it to be brilliantly frustrating. Irrespective of which group you fall into, I am sure that, if anything, this show has definitely taught you how it demands patience. Because, really, what do you mean that we are knee-deep towards the end of the show and still figuring out the answers to the mysteries of Season 1? Watching From truly feels nothing short of solving a very long mental puzzle with missing ends. On top of that, Season 4 has overruled all the limitations and rules set by the show, especially when it comes to its creatures or monsters. Understanding what these monsters really are has always been important in unraveling the mysteries in From, because they are indeed a huge part of the puzzle as to what is going on in this strange town that traps everyone entering it. At least we knew that these bloodthirsty monsters in From could not attack in the daylight. But with the man in yellow coming into town during the day and being impervious to the talismans at night, the trajectory of everything we know has changed. So does it mean the man in yellow's powers could allow the monsters in From to start attacking during the day? Without wasting another moment, let's get the theories cooking.
Because what happens next is my favorite part.
So far, we know that the creatures in From are essentially humanoid monsters that come out in flocks during the night in order to hunt down the people who are trapped inside the township. They love to brutally slaughter their victims and often torture them before leaving them to die. Initially, these monsters were believed to be mindless, but as the show progressed, the true extent of their intelligence was eventually revealed as they constructed hunting strategies and even applied the whole catch-and-release tactic in order to sow fear among the townspeople. But we knew for a fact that they could not hunt in the daylight, and were repelled by the talismans when they hung near the door of an enclosed room, house, or vehicle. But then we see the man in yellow come into town and change everything we have ever known about these distorted monsters. Now, if you go back to the end of the third season of the show, I think all of us remember being shocked at the sudden appearance of a very different looking version of Julie, followed by the mysterious man in the yellow suit, because he is indeed the first monster who gets to kill someone during the day. And in this show, that is a huge deal. As you know, Season 4 picked up the same arc with the old man in the yellow suit ripping Jim Matthews' throat out right in front of a short-haired Julie, who tried to warn her father after what seems to be time traveling from the future. That is further confirmed when the man in yellow asks her when did she come from this time, thus establishing the theory that Julie can, in fact, jump between different chapters of the story that is being told in the township. It is possible they keep running into one another every time Julie tries to alter the story, as the yellow suit man says how her mission was pointless because once a story has been told, it cannot be rewritten. In response, we see Julie simply vanish into thin air. However, before going for the kill, the man in yellow had told Jim how knowledge always comes at a cost, and that his wife, Tabitha, should not have dug that hole, thus repeating the exact same message that Jim had heard over the radio back in Season 1. Just that statement is unsettling enough to confirm that this guy has been lurking in the shadows for longer than any of us realized. Anyway, we don't see the guy again until a car comes crashing right into the sheriff's office. The man driving this car was a pastor who got lost into this wretched town along with his teenage daughter. Due to the impact of the crash, the pastor was in a coma, while the girl had her throat stuck in a very dangerous position, with sharp metal pieces inches away from lodging into her neck. Luckily, the townspeople help them out, and once they are at the clinic, Sophia starts asking for a cell phone to contact her mom. That is when Kenny gives her a short gist of what her life is going to look like now that she is stuck inside the town. Strangely enough, Sophia takes this information in an absurdly positive manner. She even admires the talismans and claims them to be some sort of magical protection sent to them by God. Now, as the night grows darker, Kenny dozes off, and that is when Sophia slowly walks up to her father and orders him to wake up. That is when we find out that she is not exactly the pastor's daughter, but rather the old man in the yellow suit. Apparently, the man had sensed the pastor losing his way into the township and shapeshifted into Sophie just so she could exploit his kindness for her own gain and enter the town without raising any suspicions. Now that Sophia had no need for the pastor, she thanked him for his kindness and proceeded to strangle him to death, so as to prevent anyone in the town from finding out about her true identity. So far, we have established that this mysterious dude can shapeshift, loves to manipulate, and is absolutely impervious to daylight or the talismans. More importantly, he has supernatural abilities that make him freakishly strong and put someone in or out of a coma at his own will. Up until now, all the town and its monstrosities could do was haunt the residents or have monsters attack them at night if they had no talismans present to protect them in an enclosed space. But what if everything we know about them is going to change in Season 4? I mean, it is not far-fetched to believe that the man in yellow could be powerful enough to unleash different kinds of monstrosities upon the town during daylight. His arrival also marked Fatima birthing a blob that resurrected to Smiley. So what if he can also influence the creatures with his powers in order to make them attack during the day? Now, you will ask me the basis of this theory. Well, if you look closely at all the intense scenes in the Season 4 trailer for From, most of them take place during the day. In fact, in the first teaser of Season 4, there was not a single scene that took place during the night. We know that haunting the night is the attack pattern of the grotesque monsters in From, but why are all our main characters absolutely losing their shit in the first teaser of Season 4 during the daylight? Moreover, in contrast to that, all the trailers, as seen in the previous seasons of From, have at least shown us more than one scene at night. But in the first teaser that was released for Season 4, there were no scenes set during the dark of the night. In fact, even in the early sneak peeks, all the photos or teasers mostly have scenes set during the day. Plus, the official trailer also has the majority of the scenes, especially where we see a montage of faces of all the horrified residents set during the day. This has to mean something, right? Lastly, if you go back to the previous teasers or trailers of the other season, the title card or the logo of From was always presented with a dark background that gives you a glimpse of the forest at night. But guess what the logo of Season 4 looks like? Well, during the first teaser that was released for Season 4 and even in all the trailers that have been released recently, we see how at the end, a new title card appears for the first time. However, instead of having a darker background, we see the forest behind the logo appear during the day. Everything in this show is a hint, and while you could take this theory with a grain of salt, the townspeople definitely will have some horror attacking them during the day. But that is just my 2 cents. What do you guys think? Let us know about your theories in the comment box below.